So 3 things I'm gonna have 3FW. All right. So with any business or anything that you do, there's 3 ways to treat it, right? You can, number 1, treat it like a hobby, right? If you treat it like a hobby, Jim Rohn's famous quote is that it'll pay you like a hobby, right? If it's something that you just do on the side, you'll probably not make that much money, and it's just something that you're kind of teasing around with. You treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. And hobbies don't really pay that well, right? And so it comes down to, is this something that you're going to just kind of dabble in, or it's something that you're committed to? And then if you're committed to it, you can, number 2, treat it like a job, which I always say is the journey of the broke or just over broke. JOB, right? And if you treat it like a job, the difference is that you'll show up 9 to 5. You'll be here and do what it takes. You'll do, as soon as you do 20 contacts, you'll stop. As soon as you make 100 phone calls, you'll stop. You'll do the quota. When you run your own business, there's no quota. You do as much as you possibly can all the time, right? And so it's not like, oh, cool, I did 20 contacts for the day, see you later. It's, oh, damn, it's only 11 o'clock, I did 20 contacts. That means I can do 50 by 4 o'clock, right? It's that sort of mindset that is the differentiator. And so if you treat it like a job, you'll be expected to pretty much treat it like a 9 to 5. You'll want to be directed, which means that you'll want someone else to tell you what to do. You'll hit a quota and then stop, and you'll never really break through because you treat it like a job, right? And you'll expect linear income, right? Because at a job, right, you get paid $50,000 a year. Then at the end of the year, you have a meeting with your boss, and he says, you've been awesome. Now you get paid $52,000 a year. Right? They typically give you a raise of around 2 to 4% per year, but inflation is 6%, so you really just got a loss of 3% of your purchasing power. Right? But at a job, that's what you'll expect. Linear income. You made 10, you made 11, you made 12. That's how you think about it. Number 3 is you treat it like a business. And if you treat it like a business, you'll do whatever it takes to be successful. Meaning that you'll be here at 8:45 and you'll be here till whenever you have to be. Right? We've had some appointments recently, Javi, at 8:30 at night, right? Sometimes we're here and we're rocking and rolling, doing whatever it takes to be here late. And if you run a business like that, if somebody calls out or somebody's not here, you have to treat it like it's your business. And so even though I might be leading and coaching and mentoring, if you treat it like this is your business, then you'll be the first one here and the last one out. And you treat everything that you do like it's your business. In this type of business, it's easy to slip through the cracks because if you don't show up, you just don't make money that day. But if you don't show up to a restaurant and you own a restaurant, well, you're leaving everybody else out to dry, and you don't open the doors, then you're going to be late. Then you're not going to be able to fulfill people. Then people are going to show up to your door, and then they're going to give you bad reviews, and then you'll probably be out of business. And so it's important to treat this like a business. You'll be here early, and you'll be here till whenever you have to be. You also will do a map as much as possible. All right, you'll do as much as possible. You'll be the best that you can be. And that doesn't mean that every single day you're going to be on your top game. Do professional athletes have off days? Absolutely. But you start thinking of yourself as a professional, number 1. And therefore, then when you go out there and talk about the business, you'll change your vocabulary from saying things like, I work at blank to like I do blank. Instead of saying I work at a financial firm, you would say I help run a financial firm. Instead of saying this is my boss, Josh, you would say this is my partner, Josh. You would treat everybody that way because that's the mindset. And lastly, because of the way you treat it, you'll have exponential income. And I'll forewarn you guys that there will be a period of time of X amount of years. It could be a couple months, it could be a couple years, it could be 20 years, that your friends that have jobs will make more money than you. Your friends that have jobs will make more money than you this entire time period because they have a fixed income. They have linear income. They have guaranteed income. As an entrepreneur, you don't have guaranteed income unless you have an annuity for the future, right? But you don't have any guaranteed income. There's going to be this period of time, and that's when your friends are going to say, dude, what the heck? Or girl, what are you doing? I'm making $5,000 a month every month no matter what, and you're making $2,000. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why don't you just go get a job? And it's going to be very tempting because they're going to have their 401k. They're going to have some income every month. They're going to be able to go out to dinner once in a while and go out, and you're not. When you run a business, you're not allowed to do that yet. And then there will be a point in time when this never stops. When your friends that have finance jobs, if you go get a job in finance out of college, how much do you typically make on average?
70, 80.
Yeah, 70, 80. Let's even give it, 70 to 100K. But in a corporate environment, even at other insurance companies like Northwestern, Mass Mutual, New York Life, you have to work there for 3 years before you can be a manager. If you work at other corporate jobs, you have to work there and work your way up. And in a lot of examples, a lot of circumstances, there's no room for you. So you have to wait till someone quits, retires, or dies for you to actually advance up. As a kid, I knew that if I worked under my dad and I ran my dad's stores, I would never own them until he got sick, died, or retired. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be my own boss. And so during that time period, I would have a fixed income. You don't have fixed income. If you work for someone else, you're going to be under them until that point in time happens. And this part sucks. But this part is what builds character. That builds character. Right? And that time period between this and this, from the time you start, what's going to happen is what we talked about with the law of reaping and sowing. The birds are going to come and tell you to quit. There's going to be thorns because it's going to suck. You're going to have to eat PB&J, and I was talking to Dennis yesterday. I literally ate PB&J and frosted mini wheats for like 2 years straight. That's all I ate. And I would get the family box of frosted mini wheats, and I would get PB&J, and that's what I ate. And the 5 years before that, all I ate was the food at my restaurant. This is so important that you expect this. Darren Hardy, who wrote The Compound Effect, he calls it the inoculation talk. All right, and what that means, you get inoculated. That means you get told what it's going to look like up front. Like if you go to Navy SEAL training, you know you're going to have to lay in the freezing cold water in the ocean while it goes over you. You know you're going to get woken up with buckets of water dumped on you in the middle of the night. You know you're going to cry. You know you're going to bleed. You know you're going to sweat. You know you're going to have blood, sweat, and tears. You know stuff's going to happen. You should expect that in here. You should expect that in here. This isn't a job. This is a business. And you all are running your own business. You all have to think that way. And if you don't think that way now, then you have to read books like The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. You have to read books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. You have to read books and watch videos and learn what it's like.